The year is 1899. Wardenclyffe Tower rises like a metallic obelisk above the windswept plains of Long Island, a skeletal monument to progress. Most of the world believes Nikola Tesla built it to transmit electricity wirelessly, a dream of free energy for all mankind. But late at night, when the press and investors are long gone, Tesla walks alone beneath its iron ribs, tuning coils not to illuminate homes, but to silence what stirs beneath the earth. The tower hums, low and constant, like a prayer whispered across the ley lines of the continent. Inside the tower's laboratory, dim gas lamps flicker as Tesla pores over a leather-bound journal, his eyes, gone and wild with genius, skin formulae that seem half scientific, half musical. Coils, capacitors, and resonators cover the tables like bronze organs of some ancient cathedral. He adjusts the dial of a humming oscillator, sending a pulse through the air, sharp, harmonic, nearly imperceptible to the human ear. In a hidden corner of the lab, a canary in a brass cage flutters, panicked. Tesla frowns. He checks the coil's output again and scribbles in the margin. Frequency 7.3 megahertz. Cause instinctive fear. Resonates with parasitic photophobic tissue. He turns to the second journal, one older, bound in cracked vellum. It is not written in English, but Romanian. Its ink is brown with age or something else. Tesla reads aloud softly, EI dorm submont. Somnal lore, eruptor de fulgura si sange. They sleep beneath the mountain. Their slumber is broken only by lightning and blood. That evening, as dusk settles, Tesla walks the streets of New York with a thick scarf wrapped high around his neck. He avoids electric street lamps, not out of habit, but design. In the alleyways, strange shapes flicker behind windows. Steam rises and bursts from iron grates. He carries a small device that emits a dull clicking sound, like an inverted metronome. The clicking quickens as he nears the cathedral on 26th Street. He enters. Candles burn inside, but no one prays. The pews are empty save one, a hunched old man in a dark coat, waiting in silence. Tesla sits beside him. Caligula Murieri Nikola, the old man says without looking. The monk died yesterday. Tesla stiffens. He was the last of the watchers in this hemisphere. The old man finally turns. His eyes are nearly white, cataracts clouding the irises. But they are not blind, and now you are the only hum we have left. The cathedral groans as if something heavy moved beneath its foundation. Later that night, lightning cracks over the Atlantic. Tesla returns to Wardenclyffe, soaked but focused. He descends into the sub-basement, where iron doors bar a chamber lined with copper plates. The room is built in the shape of a tuning fork, designed not for humans, but for signals. He calls it the cage. Inside sits the globe's first harmonically synchronized transmitter, a machine designed not to send messages, but to suppress Nyers. Tesla fires it up. The coil screams briefly, then levels into a constant tone. A massive generator chugs behind reinforced glass, powered by a waterfall rerouted beneath the facility. He places a hand on the console and closes his eyes. Miles away in the Carpathian Mountains, a sigil carved into ancient stone trembles. Soil cracks in the cracks of old monasteries. Insects scatter from crypts untouched for centuries. And below the tunnels of Budapest, a corpse exhales for the first time in 200 years. The next day, Tesla's assistant, Charles, rushes into the lab with the New York Herald. Mr. Tesla, there was a break-in at the library on 5th. They say someone stole an entire shelf of ancient texts, only the ones in Romanian. Tesla sets down a polished brass resonator. They weren't after books, Charles. They were after a map. Charles gulps. Map of what? Tesla doesn't answer. He walks to the vault, opens it with a turning sequence of tonal notes, and removes a rolled parchment etched in faded red ink. It shows a globe, not as it appears on maps, but marked with lines, arcs, and nodes. One node blinks faintly near Transylvania. Another pulses in New York. They've begun searching for the wake points. At midnight, a knock echoes through the tower's entry hall. Tesla descends a staircase with a small Tesla coil buzzing on his shoulder like a mechanical parrot. The door opens to reveal a woman in furs, eyes hidden behind a lace veil. I came as soon as the soil shifted, she says. Isabel, Tesla breathes. She removes her veil, revealing eyes blackened not by makeup, but some internal war. It's true then. The current is weakening. Tesla nods. She steps inside, heels clicking on the marble. Do you remember what they did to your mother? Tesla's face hardens. They're not just waking, Isabel continues. They're adapting. Tesla turns toward the humming tower. Then so must we. Deep underground, below the East River, a hidden tunnel-long sealed by iron wells begins to rust and hiss. Water trickles where it never should. In the darkness, something pale presses against the old brick. A hand with claws, each finger marked with ancient script. A voice echoes in the dark. Nocturna? Nocturna? Tesla, alone once more, writes by candlelight in his journal. They sleep beneath the crust, not in coffins, but in coated cells of ancient stone. Their hearts do not beat. Their minds do not dream. But frequencies speak to them. The right pitch, the right pressure, and they will awaken. Electricity is not a miracle. It is a wall. And I am its keeper. He closes the journal. Outside, the tower begins to flicker. Just once. Then again. Then it stops humming. Cut to black. 1870. The mountains of Wallachia. Snow falls gently over a jagged ridge in the Carpathians. A boy no older than 14 walks alone through the trees, a heavy fur cloak draped over his too thin shoulders. He holds a rusted lantern that flickers with each gust of wind. His name is Nikola, bright, observant, and far from home. Behind him, a monastery bell rings once, then twice, then silence. The boy looks back, confused. The monastery where his mother worked as a midwife is dark, its candles extinguished, its walls now eerily still. He quickens his pace. At the gate, something is wrong. The wood is split, not broken from the outside, but shattered outward. He steps inside. The snow is pink here. A trail of it leads down into the cellar. The last thing young Nikola hears before the screaming begins is a strange, rhythmic chime of music, not played by hands, but resonating from stone. A lullaby in reverse. Present day. Wardenclyffe. The year 1899. Tesla awakens in his cot, drenched in sweat, the dream still clinging to him like a shroud. The coils above his bed pulse weakly. The backup generator must have failed again. He rises, dons a robe, and walks barefoot through the copper-laced floors of the sub-basement. In the center chamber, the containment coil, codenamed Nocturne, is silent. Again, Tesla places a hand on the central crystal prism, carved with geometric etchings and soaked in centuries of blood memory. It remains cool. Still, he mutters. They're interfering again. They've grown bold. Flashback. Paris. The year 1883. Tesla sits in the back room of a candlelit cafe, face to face with a man known only as Gregor the Line. Gregor is pale, hair slicked back like oil on water, and wears a ring etched with 13 tiny fangs. He does not blink often. You don't know what you're dealing with, Nikola. Gregor purrs. Electricity disrupts more than communication. It severs ties, old ties, sacred ones. Tesla sips his espresso. Then I'm pleased to be a heretic. Gregor smiles thinly. We are not monsters, Tesla. We are ancestors, rulers, shepherds of men before men had tongues. Tesla sets down his cup. You ruled in darkness. I'm building towers to pierce it. Gregor leans forward. You are unwise to strike the match before checking room for gas. The lights flicker. Tesla smiles. I built the gas lines too. In his journals, hidden within Wardenclyffe walls, Tesla documents his discovery of the Order of the 13th Fang, a vampiric cabal that once ruled the world in cycles of slumber and wakefulness. Their hierarchy is built like a clock. 13 fangs, each a sovereign of blood and shadow. They do not die, merely hibernate in cycles lasting centuries. When they wake, civilizations fall. Each Fang is bound to a different node of the Earth's electromagnetic lattice, a lattice Tesla began mapping after deciphering ancient Romanian scripture, encoded as hymns to the sleeping fathers. They are not immune to light, nor even silver, but harmonic resonance that unnerves them. Each Fang possesses a unique frequency tolerance. Tesla theorizes that electric interference, pulses at specific wavelengths, can suppress their regenerative cycles, effectively sedating them in their tombs. That was the true purpose of his Colorado Springs experiments, to find the master key frequency, the nocturne code, back to present-day New York. In the reading room of the New York Historical Society, Tesla's assistant Charles pores through recent cable messages intercepted from Europe. Many are in code. Some are not. One simply reads, "Can copical cade, virmii iis la lumina. When the tree falls, the worms come to light." Charles gulps. "Sir, there's something coming from Romania. A ship, docking soon." Tesla nods. The 13th has begun their migration. They're sending proxies to New York. Charles stammers. "Shouldn't we warn the authorities?" Tesla looks up from the coil assembly. There are no authorities left to trust. Meanwhile, aboard the SS Vatra fog rolls over the deck as a steamer pulls into New York Harbor. In its cargo hold, a sarcophagus wrapped in copper wire pulses faintly, responding to unseen frequencies in the air. The crate is marked for a museum donation. The manifest listed as stone relief, pre-Christian era, donor, House Varanka. The ship's captain tries to open it out of curiosity. He is found the next morning, eyes blackened, mouth sewn shut from inside. At the Wardenclyffe Tower, Tesla, Isabel, and Charles gather in the archive room. Tesla rolls out an ancient map covered in sigils and intersecting energy lines. There are 13 wake points, Tesla says, each one marked by a harmonic anomaly. That's where the fangs rest. Charles asks, what happens if more than one awakens? Tesla doesn't answer. Isabel does. A blood wave. Human instincts reverse. Morality collapses. Civilization tears itself apart willingly. Charles looks horrified. And they feed? They harvest, she corrects. Feeding is too gentle a word. Tesla ignites a small handheld coil. The hum grows louder as he nears a carved symbol in the corner of the map. A closed eye with 3 drops of blood beneath it. That one's active, he says. Which one? Isabel leans in. He traces a finger north of Bucharest. Bran, the resting place of the 13th. Unlike the other 12, the 13th Fang is not a monarch, but a conductor. While the others feed and sleep, this one listens. It perceives frequencies as language. Tesla believes it was the original architect of resonance-based feeding, able to draw fear and blood through sound and rhythm alone. He names it Nox Eterna, eternal night. Tesla's note suggests Nox Eterna once manipulated entire armies into war using symphonic blood chants, weaponized music that ignited madness. It is the one he fears most, and the one beginning to stir. In the abandoned crypt beneath the Romanian embassy in Manhattan, a ritual begins. Electric lamps explode. A violin plays, though no one holds it. The room shakes as a stone sarcophagus cracks open. From within, pale fingers emerge, long, too many jointed, vibrating with unnatural rhythm. A voice croaks in broken English. Who dares sing in my silence? Cut to Tesla's lab. The backup coils burst into blue flame. He stares at the waveform on his screen, an impossible signature. 13 stacked frequencies vibrating in perfect harmony. He whispers it's awake. Wardenclyffe, the year 1900. Around midnight, Tesla sits alone in the observation chamber, surrounded by a low, discordant hum. The Wardenclyffe Tower is groaning again. Sparks jump from the primary coil, erratic, angry. Something's wrong. Charles rushes in, clutching a crumpled telegram. Sir, the financial backing. It's gone. J.P. Morgan's pulled everything. Tesla doesn't look up, because Edison told him to. Charles stammers. But Edison's company is dying. His patents are outdated. He's practically irrelevant. Tesla turns slowly, his face lit by the deep violet glow of the arc reactor. He's never been more relevant. Flashback. Menlo Park. The year 1887. The laboratory stinks of sulfur and scorched copper. A much younger Tesla stands before Thomas Edison, holding blueprints for a radical new alternating current generator. I can deliver power further, cheaper, safer, Tesla says. My system won't just light homes. It will protect them. Edison chuckles, his eyes cold and calculating. Nikola, Do you know why I invented the phonograph? Tesla blinks. To record sound. Edison leans closer. To trap voices. He taps Tesla's chest. The kind that whisper from beneath the ground. Tesla's smile fades. Edison snaps the blueprints from his hand. Let me show you something. Edison leads Tesla to a cellar beneath the lab. Behind a false wall of crates lies a sealed iron door, etched with Romanian glyphs. Tesla stiffens immediately. You know these symbols? Edison asks. Tesla nods. The same markings I saw at Brand Monastery. Edison unlocks the door with a peculiar tuning fork, striking it and placing it against the iron. The seal melts. Inside the vault is a wax cylinder, still spinning on a table older than the building itself. A voice hisses from it, high, layered, and inhuman. Tesla's body stiffens. His hands tremble. That sound he whispers is not alive. Edison grins. It's asleep. For now. Back to the present day. Wardenclyffe. Tesla flips through an old dossier marked Epsilon 13, the Edison Accord. Inside are faded photographs of grave exhumations, war-era trench blueprints, and a contract signed by Thomas Edison with a wax seal shaped like a fong. Underneath the contract is a single line handwritten in Edison's tight, blocky script. If we can't defeat them, we'll power them. Tesla whispers he struck a deal. Isabel steps into the room, her coat soaked with rain, and he fulfilled it. There are reports of power outages across the eastern seaboard. Selective, precise. Charles looks up from the monitor. They're hitting our coils. Tesla's eyes narrow. They're silencing the hum. The last time Tesla saw Edison was 1890. They met in secret on the Brooklyn Bridge under cover fog, each flanked by armed men. Edison looked older than he should have. Not tired, drained. You were right, he admitted, voice hollow. The fangs. The cabal. All of it. Tesla remained silent. Edison pulled a small device from his coat, a pocket-sized phonograph with a silver dial. He played it. A tone emerged, impossibly low. Buildings nearby vibrated faintly. Then the screaming began, dozens of pigeons falling from the sky, bleeding from their eyes. Tesla turned it off. You weaponized the signal. Edison lit a cigarette. It works both ways. You're helping them, Tesla hissed. I'm delaying them, Edison said. That's more than your towers are doing. Present day. Manhattan. Across the city, strange figures begin to move at dusk, pale men in black coats with eyes that reflect no light. They walk unnoticed among bankers and beggars. They carry tuning forks, not knives. They're not here to kill. They're here to listen. In the archives of the Metropolitan Museum, a security guard finds a man crouched over a display of Mesopotamian artifacts. The man is whispering into a bronze coil. Before the guard can act, the coil sings. The guard collapses, blood leaking from his ears. The figure walks away silently. A bat follows. Back at Wardenclyffe, Tesla analyzes the latest interference patterns. They're hijacking Edison's old broadcast stations, his phonographs, his copper wire grid. He leans over a map of the U.S., where 12 glowing points mark recent outages. Each point coincides with buried Fong site. Edison didn't just betray me. He created a resonance network. Isabel frowns. To revive them? Tesla nods. And to record us dying. Charles intercepts a signal from an abandoned Edison laboratory in New Jersey. A single phonograph is transmitting. On loop, they play the wax cylinder. Edison's voice crackles to life. Nikola, if you hear this, they've begun their second cadence. I slowed them down, maybe bought us 50 years. But they learn. They evolve. One Fong's awake already. Nox Eterna. The conductor. You always tried to silence them. I tried to understand them. But I see now they weren't sleeping. They were listening. And I gave them music. Forgive me. Static. Then silence. Tesla lowers his head. Isabel crosses herself. Charles trembles. He wasn't trying to save the world. He was trying to delay the apocalypse. Below Grand Central Station, an old storage tunnel echoes with humming. Nox Eterna, the 13th Fang, stand beneath the platform, skin like living marble, eyes closed. A dozen followers kneel, vibrating faintly in sync with a high-frequency pulse emanating from old copper wires embedded in the tunnel walls. The Fang speaks, not aloud, but through resonance. The world sings again, and I remember the notes. He raises a hand. Across the city, light bulbs burst. Radios scream. Dogs howl. Warden Cliff Tower surges, and then goes dark. Tesla runs to the sub-basement. He unlocks a mechanical vault hidden behind a false panel. Inside is a glass coffin holding a single item, an analog weapon shaped like a violin. Inscribed on the side, "To silence conductor, play your own symphony." Tesla turns to Isabel. "We'll need a musician." She narrows her eyes. "Who?" Tesla hands her a yellow sheet of music, covered in sigils and harmonic ratios. His great-granddaughter, Sophia Edison, Reimagines Peninsula, Iceland. Present day. Beneath the howling winds and frozen crust of Iceland's rugged coastline lies a buried tower, not of stone, but bronze and obsidian alloy, a place never marked on maps, never referenced in Tesla's public writings. To most, it's geothermal terrain. But to select few, it's Tesla's final safeguard, the last generator. The structure, known only in ciphered blueprints as Site ON, sleeps in silence, half buried in lava rock. Its copper veins stretch like roots through volcanic tunnels, coiled tightly around a spherical core that hasn't pulsed in over a century. Until now, days earlier in Oslo, a digital scan flutters on Sophia Edison's laptop. She sits cross-legged in an abandoned train station turned hackerspace, surrounded by old phonographs and humming Tesla coils. Across from her, Charles, older now, wearier, finishes decrypting Tesla's final notebook. "It's all here," he whispers. Coordinates, harmonic thresholds, and the name, ON. Sophia frowns. "My family buried this tech. We signed accords. My father said Tesla's machines were madness, dangerous." Charles glances up, because they are. But they're also the only thing keeping Noxie Turner from broadcasting a death wave across the earth. She rubs her temple. "We need a team." Charles slides over a folder. "We already have one. Inside are 4 files. Isabel, the Cabal's last effector. Elijah Cross, former signal warfare engineer, dishonorably discharged for classified disobedience. Carolyn, a linguist turned cryptographer who claims to have heard vampires speak in subsonic Latin. Sophia Edison, heiress of the man who betrayed Tesla. Charles closes the folder. "You're going to Iceland." The team travels aboard a retrofitted Arctic vessel, named the Warden of Silence, once used for sonar experiments. Its hull is lined with Tesla copper, modernized, but true to the original blueprints. The ship cuts through the North Atlantic, its crew uneasy under a sky darkened by unnatural clouds. Auroras flicker red. Elijah checks the monitors. "I'm picking up low-frequency tremors, but these aren't geological." Kara listens, then looks pale. It's not tremors. It's chanting. Sophia leans over. "You sure?" Kara nods. It's repeating the same phrase. "Wake, sing, feed," over and over. Suddenly, the compass spins erratically. Charles mutters, "We're close." The entrance is hidden behind a geothermal vent that shouldn't exist. Sophia places her hand on a copper panel shaped like an inverted treble clef. The metal pulses beneath her skin. The ground opens. Inside is a vast chamber lined with coils so tall they vanish into shadow. Each one sings faintly, a hum that never resolves. In the center is a crystalline sphere, the ON core, pulsing with a heartbeat that doesn't belong to anything living. Isabel places Tesla's key, a baton-shaped conductor rod, into the central console. The hum stops, and then the sphere begins to spin. Meanwhile, in Romania, in the underground ossuary beneath Bran Castle, Noxie Turner hovers above a pit of bones, eyes closed. Around him, his choir chants in perfect harmony. 13 black candles drip blood instead of wax. He raises a hand. Far across the world, power grids begin to fail. Hospitals lose their lights. Air traffic freezes. The entire electromagnetic spectrum screams in binary silence. Noxie Turner opens his eyes. Iceland, he says, the last symphony, the last silence. Inside the generator chamber, the sphere ignites with cascading light. Harmonic patterns dance in the air, projecting ancient equations Tesla wrote in the margins of his notebooks. Frequencies designed to burn the bloodborne without fire. Sophia plays a violin her ancestor never touched, reading directly from the sheet Tesla left behind. The Nocturne Codex. It is not music. It is a control sequence embedded in sound. Elijah calibrates the pulse launcher, which amplifies the music into subspace layers, ready to broadcast. But the room trembles. The door slams shut. Isabel turns, fangs bared. What's she doing? Charles shouts. Isabel throws him across the floor. Her eyes glow with ancient hunger. I lied, she snarls. There are no defectors, only sleepers. Kara stabs Isabel in the chest with a harmonic tuning blade Tesla invented, a weapon designed to scramble vampiric resonance fields. Isabel screeches, the pitch inhuman. She melts into mist. Elijah powers up the final coil, but sparks shoot from the system. Saboteurs have installed signal dampeners inside the generator housing. It's breaking apart. Sophia keeps playing, sweat dripping, fingers bleeding. Charles, coughing from smoke, limps to the console. If we don't boost the signal, Kara interrupts. It won't reach the cabal's central resonators. We'll lose everything. Elijah looks at the ship docked above. It's copper-lined. It could act as a relay. Sophia nods. Do it. Elijah runs back to the Warden of Silence, wires in hand, dragging them like veins from Owen's heart. He connects the console to the ship's pulse array and feeds the power directly into the sky. Outside, the clouds scream open. Lightning erupts in vertical streaks. Birds fall dead mid-flight. But in Bran Castle, Nox Eterna staggers. The chant falters. He bleeds from one eye. He growls, Tesla. From within the core chamber, a second signal emerges. Not from Sophia, but from the sky. An old Edison satellite, once decommissioned, activates and beams down a counterfrequency. Nox Eterna is using it to fight the Nocturne. Tesla anticipated this. He left a final page. Charles opens a comparent beneath the console. Inside is a switch labeled, "Only if they sing back." He flips it. Owen surges. The sky lights up like an aurora opera. Tesla's final harmonic pulse is released. A symphony of discord, impossible frequencies, not just to paralyze vampires, but to erase their frequency from the spectrum of life. The generator begins to overheat. The chamber trembles. Sophia plays a final note. The violin shatters. The core flashes. And then silence. Across the world, the chanting stops. The pale men in black collapse into ash. The fog clears. Radios resume humming. In Bran Castle, Nox Eterna disintegrates, but not before whispering into the stones. He gave you time, not victory. In Reykjavik, weeks later, Sophia visits the surface where Site Owen once stood. The area is sealed now, encased in cooled obsidian from a meltdown. She places Tesla's shattered baton on the rock. Charles stands beside her, bandaged. Elijah? She asks. Charles shakes his head. Kara speaks up behind them, holding a new map showing untouched wake points in Australia, Siberia, and beneath the Pacific. Sophia sighs. So the symphony begins again. Charles nods. But this time, we know the notes. Above the planet, a dead satellite flares back to life. Its solar panels reorient with eerie precision. Inside, long dormant systems hum awake, not by human command, but by an inherited frequency. A shadow moves in zero gravity. She's not breathing, yet her skin glows faintly under the satellite's console lights. Eyes, jet black without scara, open. They failed, she whispers. The ON pulse severed only the old chords. The new ones are already written. The satellite's beacon turns red. A signal pulses toward Earth. 3 days later, in Geneva, Switzerland, inside a fortified observatory, Sophia Edison watches the globe rotate slowly on a digital display. Red markers have begun to appear, first in sparsely populated regions. The Mongolian steppes, the Sahara, deep Pacific trenches. What are these? She asks. Carolyn, hair now streaked white from exposure to the ON core, answers softly. They're not fangs. They're choirs, Charles interrupts. New ones, subspecies, created by the cabal, but tuned to modern infrastructure. Sophia narrows her eyes. They've decentralized. Elijah's voice crackles and overcomes. Then it's not a cabal anymore. It's a broadcast. In the ruins of Wardenclyffe, a drone recovers a sealed chamber buried beneath the original tower foundation. Inside, a scroll older than anything built there. Not parchment. Crystal data etched by microscopic laser. It is Tesla's Codex Ultima, his last writing. Kara decodes the first lines. The Cabal are not a dynasty. They are a waveform. Kill the king, and the song survives an echo. To end the song, don't fight the vampires. Teach the world to sing louder. Let humanity become the symphony. Sophia gathers the team. We're not hunting monsters anymore, she declares. We're jamming a planetary signal. Charles points to the globe. They've embedded frequencies in 5G towers, underwater sonar arrays, even wind farms. Anywhere signal can propagate. Kara adds, they aren't feeding on blood now. They're feeding on response. When people react with fear, grief, anger, it sharpens their signal. We need a planetary override. Elijah leans in. So we broadcast Tesla's final frequency worldwide. Sophia nods. Every coil, every satellite, every broadcast tower. We played Tesla's Symphony of Light. In a breathtaking montage, the team activates Tesla stations hidden across the globe. A giant coil hidden beneath the Sydney Opera House. A transmitter built into the Eiffel Tower's lower girders. An antenna array disguised as Himalayan weather stations. A buried amplifier deep inside the Vatican's catacombs. They activate simultaneously. Each emits a glowing pulse. Harmonics layered with mathematical precision. Not just sound, but structured emotion. Tesla didn't write music. He wrote resonance-coded hope. The surviving choirs strike back. Around the globe, electronic systems begin to glitch. Screens flicker with ancient glyphs. Entire cities fall silent, not from power loss, but from imposed stillness. In Tokyo, people freeze mid-step. In Cairo, children weep without moving. In Johannesburg, a woman smiles while her eyes bleed black ink. It's not a virus. It's a shadow signal, the Cabal's last weapon, an emotional override broadcast through digital emotion feedback loops. Every human thought becomes an amplifier. Kara realizes in horror, they're trying to overwrite us. Sophia steps into the main broadcast chamber beneath the Swiss Observatory. The chamber is octagonal, with copper-lined walls shaped to enhance harmonic focus. Her fingers hover over a strange new keyboard, designed from Tesla's Codex Ultima. She doesn't play music. She types emotion. Each keystroke is an emotional signature encoded into frequency. Courage, forgiveness, wonder, laughter, love, sacrifice. Charles activates the planetary coils. Broadcasting in 3, 2, the globe lights up. The first note of the Symphony of Light erupts not as noise, but as a feeling. People across the world stagger. Some fall to their knees, weeping. Others laugh out loud. Children begin to sing, not from their mouths, but from their resonance. Humanity becomes the choir. Aboard the satellite, the last of the choirs, Thalzurai, a being composed of harmonic shadow, screeches. Its form splits and reforms as it tries to outsignal Tesla's frequencies. Its signal mutates into war, into grief, into rage. But Tesla had planned for that. With each attempted hijack, the symphony adapts. It doesn't just jam the vampire frequencies. It absorbs them, transforms them, turns every echo of pain into a resonance of strength. In city after city, the infected freeze mid-motion. Their shadows peel off them like wet paint and vanish. From the deep sea to low orbit, harmonic reactors implode silently. The shadow signal dies, not with a scream, but with a final, unanswered whisper. 1 week later, the world stirs. Reports surface of people awakening from strange trances. Black veins recede. Skies clear. Children begin dreaming again. But something's changed. Kara listens to a recording of the symphony played backward. There's something else in it now, she says. Charles frowns. What? She smiles. Our voice. At Tesla's grave in Serbia, Sophia stands at Tesla's monument, her violin strapped to her back. She reads the final line of his codex, newly engraved in bronze. Do not silence the dark. Drown it. She plays one last note, a high, aching pitch that hangs in the air like crystal. Behind her, the wind begins to hum along. Centuries pass. In a museum orbiting Jupiter, an android child stares at an artifact. Tesla's baton. A holographic plaque reads, Nikola Tesla, architect of silence, father of resonance warfare, and composer of the light. The child asks what's music. The guide responds, it's how humans kept the monsters asleep